Who's it going to be?
They have a lot of options. Who is the player they are going to choose for this specific map against SOS? They want to end it here. They do not want to let it get within 2 games. And it is going to be TY.
Best choice, I think. Try to show as few games as possible. Close it out as fast as possible. I feel like for TY, maps don't matter as much. Obviously, yeah, I think Bonnie Research is the better map for him, but why would you risk possibly showing another PvP when tomorrow you're probably going to have a lot of PvPs in your entry format if you win?
Stats has also shown a bunch of games, not so much against Protoss on Bonnie Research Station, but just against a lot of different races on that map. So, you know, maybe he just feels more comfortable there, whereas TY wants to come out on this map.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a harder map for SOS to get things done, unless he wants to go for some sort of hidden tech or hidden base. Now, TY just such a strong player, arguably stronger than Flash in a lot of cases, with his recent success, especially in Star League.
Nearly making that grand finals. I really worry for SOS. You can see on his face as well, he is not confident against this Terran player right now.
In the lobby, he was like hiding. Like, he was just not too happy with a couple of dots. He's just like, you know, I got 1 down, but I got 3 to go. This is going to be hard for me.
Yeah, that's right. He has looking for the reversal kill. Looking at TY's recent stats, though, he's only lost to Protoss with no wins. Bit of a surprise there. Doesn't really accurately sort of just depict who he is and how good he is right now.
He's also played some weird games versus Frost, and I don't think that includes the round 4 finals. It only includes regular season. He's been some weird siege tank pushes and things of the like, but I think he's just going to play 100% straight up today. That's my prediction.
Would not be surprised. It's a very big map coming into this one. Going into game number 5 right now between TY and SOS on Cactus Valley. Up here in the top left, in the red, another Terran player from KT Rolster. It is TY.
Down here to the bottom left, in green, 1 down, 3 to go, as you mentioned, Valdez. It is SOS. He does get vertical spawns here, which does kind of lend itself possibly to his sort of aggression. And does kind of keep... I like this position if he wants to hide a base, because then, you know, the focal point of this map is going to be the left side for dropships, middle of the map with the watchtower, and kind of the almost a crescent moon-shaped left side of the map, whereas the bases around the map may not be scouted from TY if he wants to try something like that. Now, to be fair, SOS can play a macro game in this matchup, and he's not bad at it, but he's only, like, he's only average at it. You know, he's not, you don't look at SOS and go, wow, you don't look and say, like, this is classic level, you know, PvT late game, or, you know, this is like what the parting level aggression in the mid game that we've seen. You look at him and go, well, what's the plan? What's the rush? What's the build? Did that work? No. We've got some problems.
Well, let's see how things start off here. It looks like it's going to be that classic sort of command center first for TY. No surprise there at all. He won't be punished or even like harassed like Flash was in the last game. Going to have that same sort of start as expected. TY is going to be looking for that very powerful mid to late game with that economic boost. Just about in every other sort of TVP he plays, or SOS. It's going to be very interesting to see where he's going to go. Already with 2 quite quick assimilators.
We were talking about how he does like to proxy some tech on this map at different moments in time, how it is kind of figured out, but maybe he can try to pull some kind of reverse psychology, go for it anyway. He does seem comfortable with the build. He's only going to throw in 2 probes right now for the gas, build it up early, so probably going to go for an expand and then maybe some tech.
Yeah, definitely going to lend for itself for the Cybernetics support at least to come up with a nice timing here. Let's see quick gas fallout from TY so we can go into those drops he's so known for in this matchup.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be that reactor racks into a quick 3rd CC, which we have been seeing sometimes. It gets at a decent amount of Marines early enough, but it's not too much of a committal.
I think it's just safe enough to catch most of what SOS might throw at him, but I think that is what we're going to see. I think you're right on the money, especially based on the timing of the gas, how it's going to line up here. And sticking with just the 1 the 1 gas with this timing. Gonna get a Marine out instead. Perhaps gonna cancel that and then add the reactor. We'll see. Bunker coming up with a natural means probably gonna go ahead and keep it.
Yeah, maybe just gonna be that quick factory after all. It's gonna be playing completely greedy. Oh, as we said, there's the reactor after all. But yeah, no surprise there. I mean, it'd be super risky, especially against someone like SOS that just goes straight into factory with the 1 Rax Marines on the way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he could have been saying, okay, it's a very big map. Maybe I want to go for this kind of greed. We do still have 2 players behind me, but after all, they do want to end this out here, as we were talking about before. Don't really want to give SOS that opportunity to come back in the series, get a lot of hope, and of course you don't want to show too many builds.
Yeah, look at that Twilight so quickly. It could be a very aggressive Blink style from SOS in this game, trying to shut him down early before his army really gets off the ground.
Let's see how safe TY decides to play from here. Because every time you cut a corner, you give SOS an edge. And this is just how this is going to be played for the remainder of this series. Can SOS find these edges? Can he find these angles? And with these extra gates coming up this soon, it is at the very least going to be a heavy commitment to pressure at the front. The Blink already being researched the second the Twilight is done. And so far, TY is just sticking with pure Marines. Factory's done. And we're going to see that starport in just a second. If he goes for a drop and gets caught out, this would definitely be advantage SOS.
Well, wouldn't mind in the making here. Most powerful defensive unit Terran has early on in this kind of situation. Not going to be that good against Blink if SOS can trigger them. And there's that early pylon out the front, so nice and close for that aggression.
Yeah. Let's also see if SOS doesn't seem like he will, but if he does add a safety robo, drop potential does obviously get shut down.
Ooh, man, so greedy.
Third CC coming down here.
So sick.
It's right in the position where SOS would be wanting to blink up into the main if he is going to go for that kind of blink.
Well, he's got a lot of Marines. He's got that 1 bunker so far. He's going to need SCVs out the front there in due time. Enough to bully these. Oh.
TY can't be losing anything at this point with how aggressive he's going to be coming down here with this kind of blink play.
I feel like what TY is doing right now is exactly what, if I were his coach, I would tell him not to do versus SOS on this map. He's he's like literally putting holes that SOS is about to leak through.
Yep. Oh man, look at that pylon, and more Stalkers coming in. Blink nearly finished as well.
I love the way that SOS has been playing this so far, by the way. He's only been showing 2 Stalkers, which is, something that's pretty normal when the Protoss is playing a bit passive behind this with the Robo, just trying to get his tech up. And the drop is going to come in here with 2 Widow Mines, but at the same time, there's so many Stalkers and the Marines are coming out of the base.
He's totally misread it. This is such a scary moment here. Now he needs to pull those Marines out of the bunker. He's not repairing this. That's not going to happen.
No way.
Needs to get up to the top of the secondary ramp. He's got now 3 barracks, and he can get, a few more units out. Here comes the Widow Mines.
Oh, this could do a lot of damage there. This could really even the things up. Very smiley from SOS identifying that. If he can hold the top of the ramp and do economic damage in both bases, it can really even the score here.
Oh, nice target.
5 hits.
Really nice target there.
He should save this orbital, and again, a decent position on the ramp with the SCVs blocking. He's going to have to blink up if he wants to find the damage, and that's a risky thing to do.
Siege tank about to come out as well, which is really going to make things a lot easier to defend, but losing so many SCVs already.
Now, let's remember, so much mining time being lost back at home for SOS. The worker count doesn't even show the mining.
Tank is out right now. Mining coming in here, and it is a very nice split here, and it is not targeted by TY. And so while he is getting those observers out here, it's really not going to do all that much damage.
That killed 1 probe in the main.
Yeah, 1 probe.
How did that even happen?
All right, so let's talk about, real talk, though. Some mining was denied. He's going to have to pull off another probe here for a second. Observer's out. But TY in a very good position. Even though he doesn't have a mining naturally, he has 3 orbitals worth of mules. He's going to have a second siege tank out. And as soon as he starts getting medevacs with this as well, the threat for drops is going to force SOS back. This is not a late-game oriented plan here for SOS.
Yeah, well, at the same time, though, he's got that mining lead for a lot longer than TY would be comfortable with. And with Dark Shrine on the way, he's going to be able to delay it even more. He can transition from this and go into a macro game. That is his weak spot, to be honest, especially against someone like TY, but he might have just given himself enough of a lead to make it work.
These tanks are going to give him so much space to actually finally move down here, though. He needs his bio upgrades. He needs his stem and his combat shields. That's what's missing.
Engineering Bay did go down. He had to remake that in the main. So that is part of the reason that's delayed. Uh-oh, SOS not doing the best micro here, eating 2 of those shots from the tank. He was trying to delay this orbital as much as humanly possible.
I think he can too. He's going to be able to trade with these Marines very easily, and tanks are going to have a hard time just kind of leapfrogging forwards. Here comes those Dark Templar.
He saw the Dark Shrine, but he has no reaction.
There is a missile turret in the main, I do believe. None here at the natural just yet.
I really like that SOS is trying to push the button with these Stalkers, because that's the one advantage he has in this game, and many players would have just blinked away and said, no, that's enough. But he needs to continue to do damage. He's not enough. There is no turret here, actually, and the Warp Prism's on the way. This could be another win here for SOS.
There's only one in the production, and that's not enough.
Yeah.
It was just there to stop the initial push, but, I mean, there's going to be 2 straight into your main mineral line.
Still, he's got about 3 or 4 scans right now with those 3 CCs, so he should be okay for a little while, so long as he has units in place.
Yeah, that's my bigger concern, because all the Marines are dealing with those Stalkers. He's going to have to draw some back. A lot of mining time being lost here yet again. This tank doing some work, meanwhile, while these Stalkers are not paying attention.
9 SCVs, 10 SCVs already going down, by the way.
Getting huge amounts of damage here. Going to delay this mining. We do have more missile turrets are coming up, so he will eventually hold this off. But 10 SCVs and a huge amount of mining time lost, while SOS buys a ton of space for his third base.
Well, the third base is the most important part. He has that up, and if he didn't, I would say TY is miles ahead in this game. He is getting Colossi as well. That's the key, because the next phase of this game is going to be +1 stim combat shielded Marines coming into your base and medevacs. In fact, actually, he doesn't have combat shields on the way. That's a big problem, something he definitely would love to have if he could afford it.
Yeah, he should actually be on that, but I guess he's just too busy trying to build back the SCVs he's lost and get those extra gases on his natural.
That scan is not going to make TY feel good. Scans at third base. Already up to 61 probes in this game, as well as SOS.
Yeah.
So, very healthy economy, and TY has to get some damage done.
He needs to save scans, which means his economy, when you look at the worker count and you look at the 3 orbitals, you can't really keep in mind those mules, because most of them are being used as scans at this point in time. Stim is done. He is 10 supply up, but SOS's extra economy is giving him that chunk of next wave units that's coming out, including the second Colossus.
Yeah, the one thing to note as well, because so many SCVs went down, in reality, it's about a 10, 12 supply lead for TY in Army. So he's going to have a bit of an advantage when it comes to fighting.
Also, look at the angle he's coming through. Cactus Valley has this cliff next to the third base where you can get these tanks. So normally the tanks aren't that great against Protoss, but maybe here on this map they will be good.
It's TY, man. He's always finding the way to try to use those siege tanks. Good volley already on that Colossus, and he's actually going straight for the Nexus, and it's going to go down. It looks like barely.
He's trying to commit, but he's not going to be able to get it down, and he has lost so many units, and the blink is coming in, trying to take these medevacs down.
Oh, man, he saves the medevacs at least, and that means that maybe they could come back later for a snipe on that Nexus. The siege tank's just barely not in range.
Yeah, the tanks will be going down, unfortunately, as well.
Another Proton Overcharge here versus non-combat shielded Marines.
And they're so low at the same time. Finally, the medevacs are coming in, but so many of them have gone down. SOS saves his third base, and that was the nightmare attack for TY.
Oh, we're going to lose that Dark Shrine by the looks of it, and that was a 0.3 second delay on that Colossus range.
I don't think it'll matter too much. At this point, essentially, TY is out of luck. He's out of options. He has 3 CCs, but he can't land them.
He could actually go for this Nexus again with that drop down south. SOS not paying attention. That's only on 93 HP, by the way.
Oh, boy. Shields are regenning, and it does look like SOS does have some units, but TY's going to try to pull this apart, but
I don't think it's going to happen.
TY's economy just doesn't offer him enough units to do this.
He has Blink as well, which makes the defense so much easier. Plus, actually, a Sentry there, multiple Colossi. Now we're going to have Charge.
SOS is somehow actually pulling this off. This is really impressive.
Yeah, he's just got so far ahead with that early aggression, stunted his economy to a point where there was always an answer for what TY had on the map, and now TY trying for a third base, but look at that supply lead for SOS.
Look at the Army supply lead. SOS is like thinking about, should I kill him right now?
He's like, who am I going to be going up next?
Yeah.
You know, who's coming out on Bonnie Research Station? What am I going to use for my build?
He's more interested in that than he is in the rest of this game, that's for sure. This game is essentially over. And, you know, TY did some things that Flash did not do. For example, making a full wall with a turret and a bunker to defend DTs. Flash was unable to do that yesterday, but he played Greedy versus the one player on the roster of Dinner Greenleys that you don't want to play Greedy against.
Nope, here we go. Nothing in place here. The entire army in a dropship heading towards the third base.
He's going to be able to
base
take out
race.
that third base, but at the same time, tons of Blink Stalkers. SOS's army has a decent amount of mobility for a Protoss army. SOS, though, he's not really capitalizing on this. He's not killing, and he is also defending.
Well, there's
back at the
also
Ares third base.
Zealots in like the production line of TY right now. Third base not mining, National soon to be not mining. Everything falling apart while this drop happens.
Yep, you can actually use DET. Well, actually, no, Dark Shrine is dead, but either way, it's just too much GG.
That's going to be it. SOS gets one more kill, and now all he has to do is take down 2 more players. This becomes more of a reality the more games that SOS does win.
Now the question is, what players do we want to send out on which maps? Do we see Zest first and then Stats, or Stats and then Zest? I personally would like to see Zest and then Stats. That's my opinion on this, because I feel like Zest does get a little bit stressed out in high pressure situations, and if SOS is able to do this, then that's it. KT Rolster, see you next season, goodbye. That's it. I mean, seriously, we're not going to Game 3. We're not going to Day 3. This is the end of their lives in the tournament. The defending champions of Pro League out in the first round of postseason.
If SOS is able to pull this off. He's still got to take 2 more down here. I do agree with you that Zest, not actually that ace player that you want in this situation. Generally, he will be good against many other teams, but against SOS, I'm like, maybe not so much.
Yeah, it's hard to say, right?
What about Light? What do you think about that, Moongrade?
No, I don't think we're seeing Light today. I'd love to, but he has not been performing like he should have been. I think he takes the bench today, and it's going to be 2 Protoss players left over here. I think it has to be Stats and Zest that are going to try and take care of him.
So do we see Stats out here first, or Zest? What do you think, Moonblade?
I'm still sitting on Stats, man. I'm still a believer. I still think he's got a part to play in this before Zest has to come out and try and finish the job. I think they still look at Zest as being the guy that's going to get the kills, but they could use him now.
What about you, Valdez? Are you thinking along my lines that you'd rather see Zest first, or are you on Moonblade's page on this one?
I'm really torn at this point, because Zest, I mean, he definitely has dropped ace matches against players such as Creator, even when Creator was not doing all that well. So he's had some rocky roads in PvP, but at the same time, I don't really feel like Stats is your ace player that's going to come out in the last game. I don't really trust to put him in there, whereas Zest has been on a huge roll recently.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Thing to remember as well, SOS defeated Zest yesterday on this map.
Well, guys, we're going to go to a 5-minute break first. We'll be right back.